In this tutorial, we are going to discuss example number 7, which is a walkable binaural sample-based sound garden. We will learn about how to use the microphone to record samples with a delay object, and how to use a gain and a compressor object in order to adjust the dynamic behavior of the samples that we record, and how to remote control the volume of these binaural sound sources from a central place. So please open up example number 7. So there is a lot around here. Maybe first mute the microphone, and then adjust the patch to your likings. Yeah, so the microphone here we will be using to record our voice or some samples in our surroundings, some noises that we can create in our surroundings into these delay lines here. So these are little patch islands here, which are repeated here 6 times, as in the other tutorial, so that we have a surrounding sound experience. And so maybe let's do this quickly. I turn this on. Hello, test, test. Turn this on. Hello, test, test. Right, so this has been recorded here. The feedback is 100%. We are in the full time range. It's around, well, a couple of seconds then, and it's looping without losing the energy. Then the next module here is a gain module, which can be used to increase the volume up to 36 dB. So maybe, hello, test, test. Turn this on. Hello, test, test. Right, and then the next module is a compressor. Maybe I record another sample here, which is not my voice, so something like some scratching. Okay, so I was scratching the actual headset, sorry for that. Basically, what we do now is it's quite... so if you listen to this... So there are short transients, these short, very loud sound events, and then there is some more quiet sound in there. And with the compressor now, we can compress the dynamic relationship between the very loud sound elements and the more quiet sound elements. A compressor is, yeah, it's a bit, it's a complicated instrument. It has many dials. So the idea is that you make the sound more quiet when it is loud. So you compress the peaks of the signal, and you can see here how it is working with the attenuation visualization here. So every time this gets down here, then it's turning down, like on a mixer, it's turning down the volume of this sound. And that way we can catch these very loud elements, make them more quiet, and then in total we can increase the volume of the sound. So I decrease the threshold where it begins to work. I reduce the attack time to very short. Release about there. The ratio, the lower the ratio, the lower the threshold, the more quickly it responds to the volume that comes in. Then the ratio defines how much diminishing is gonna take place. The attack time would mean that it needs some time to respond. So if I increase that then we will still have these clicking sounds now. So maybe, and this is just a makeup. This is again a gain dial here afterwards of the compression. So here we have these loud elements. And now they have been tucked away. Using compression is about subtle listening, subtle details, subtle tuning. It needs some time to learn how to use this. It's a central element for musical mixing. A compressor, and in another variation there's a limiter, which is a more extreme setting for a compressor. Is a very important element for musical mixing and mastering. And we can also use this here creatively to get more out of our samples. Okay, so now I'm going to record some more. Or maybe let's go there. I'm going to switch to passthrough for me so that I can see my surrounding. You will see black, so that I can record some sounds here in my environment. Did that work? Okay. I'm gonna make it more loud in a bit. Then I go to the next one. Record it. Didn't want my voice in there. Clear it. Oh fuck. Sorry. Okay, so let's mute the microphone. Now we have, I can switch to white again. We have sounds coming from everywhere. And you can also dial in the gain and the compression, lower the threshold, increase the ratio, increase the makeup. So here it comes, this knocking here. So this would be very loud now, but because of the compression, you can make the whole the body of the sound you can bring up while taking in these high peaks that would hurt your ears down. And with the attack, you can control still to let through some of the transients, some of the snappiness in the beginning. So this is very dull now. Or if I go like that, it's letting something through. Okay. So increase these also. You have to play around with that, take some experience, I guess. Basically, the gains are, of course, most important to make the volume, bring the volume up. So what do we have here? Okay. Nope, not the time, sorry. Bring the attack down, lower the threshold, increase the ratio, and put the makeup up. Should be breathing still. Not only if it doesn't show any blue, then the compressor is not working at all. And if it's too blue and stays too blue, then you probably have too much compression going. Okay, and so now to this remote control for the volume. I want to control the volume of all of these, also so that basically I can fade in and fade out and make it more quiet now so that you can hear me better, because when everything is playing together with my voice would be too much. And so this is a DC generator. In the 12 o'clock stage setting, it's outputting 0, like that. It's outputting +1, and this would be -1. And if you remember from the ring modulation, the amplitude inputs of the VCA, of the oscillator,
And that's it
and
for
also
tutorial number 6.
of the VCA, they respond to +1 and -1. So -1 would be inverting the signal, which we don't need. But in the range from 0 to 1, this is now useful for us. So if it's at 0, I can also press the reset buttons B and Y to set it to 0. Then all of these VCAs are remote controlled to be set to 0, to be quiet. And if I turn this up, then they're all coming up. Of course, I can also use these dials individually to adjust the volume, to do some mixing, balancing of the sounds if something is too dominant, or reduce the makeup, obviously. And so why do we have to do this? I mean, we could also take a mixer object from the menu and feed all the signals here into the mixer. But then we lose the binaural spatialization, because then everything would just be playing from this baby speaker here. It would all come from here. And we don't want that. We still want to maintain that it's spatialized around us, placed around us. So that's the reason why we have to use this remote controlling here. And yeah, I mean, I was splitting it into 2 so that we don't have all the cables coming in the center. It's a bit more easily, less cable clutter like that, I guess. And there's one more thing. As you know, the right joystick, pressing it down, switches between normal stereo, and binaural spatialization mode. And the left joystick switches cable modes. So we have this curved mode, we have a straight line mode, and we have an invisible mode, which, if you're not actively patching, this can be actually quite helpful to have less clutter. So just to let you know. And if you hover the cables, then you can see it more easily like that, I guess. You can still see where the cables are going in that mode. But I bring them back now. Okay, and then, I suggest have fun with this, play around with it, try the compression. And, of course, if you have recorded something, you can still also play with the time to pitch your samples up and down individually. So the pitching could, of course, also be controlled with another DC generator and another splitting setup here. You can also control the time of these, or use an LFO and so on, of course. So that's about it for this example. One thing I forgot to remember to tell you, I said it in an earlier tutorial. These recordings here, they are mono. So even if I turned on the spatialization here, I am hearing it, but in this recording it's mono, so you cannot hear it. So you have to do this in order to experience this. You have to use your own patch in order to hear it spatialized and with head tracking, of course. So that is tutorial number 7.